Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning. And I've got a new shell and a new choke out here today that I'm definitely curious to see how well they work. And maybe if these two can give us a good pattern and might work well together. I think there's definitely a chance anyway, and a lot of you guys have requested these shells especially, so I'm definitely curious to see how they do. So for the shell I've got here today, I picked up some more of the Winchester Longbeard XR shells, but these ones are the number 4 shot. They're a 12 gauge, 3 inch, 1 7/8 ounce of 4s, moving about 1050 feet per second. Now we've tried the 5s and the 6s, but never the 4s. So I know a lot of you guys say that you like the 4s and that you get pretty good performance out of them. So when I saw these, I had to pick them up so we could try them. Because generally, I'm not the hugest fan of 4s for turkeys because the patterns seem to be pretty picky, but we'll see how these ones do anyway. And as for the setup we'll be running them through today, I brought out the Mossberg 835 Ulti-Mag here, but for a choke, I've got something a little bit new and a little bit different. And that choke is this guy. This is a Truglo Gobble-Stopper. It's a 679 constriction. Now, it's not the kind of newer GobbleStopper Extreme. It's just the plain original GobbleStopper. So, I don't know. Maybe 679 through this overboard 835 might work out pretty well. I don't know. We'll just have to see, really. And here's what that choke looks like when it's actually in the barrel. It's kind of goofy looking. It's not ported or anything like that, like the newer GobbleStopper Extreme chokes, but it's kind of this stubby, half-length, half-extended little thing here. I just thought it looked pretty interesting and a little bit different, but if it works, then hey, it really doesn't matter how it looks, I suppose. But as for the test today, everything is the same as usual. I have the turkey target set up at 40 yards. I have the chronograph, so we'll be able to get our speed and see how close it is to the 1050 that's on the box. So let's get you guys a view of this target, and I'll head up and take the shot. Look at our chrono speed, and then we'll go down and see how they actually performed. I have some decently high hopes for this setup, so let's head over here and shoot it and see what kind of results we can actually get from the Longbeard 4s and this new GobbleStopper 679 choke. Okay, so that shell gave us 1169 through our chronograph. The box claims 1050, so that's what, 119 feet per second above their claim? Which this seems like a pretty common thing for us to see out of these longbeard shells that are claiming 1050, at least through my setups anyway, is about 100 feet per second above the claim on the box. So definitely, I wouldn't say anything unusual going on for velocity here. So how well did they actually perform down at 40 yards? Let's go take a look and see. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and this is what we got. Now, very clearly, we are to the left here. There's no doubt about that. I don't think it was me pulling the shot. I think it probably just has something to do with this load and choke combo shooting to the left. But that's why we have the target backer, and why you should always test your setup with the shell and choke you're going to use out in the field before you actually go hunting to see if it actually hits where you want it to or not. But with that being said, we see a beautiful pattern here, really. We have a really nice hot core right up here, just off the left corner of that target there. And for a load of lead 4s especially, man, if that was centered up, there would not be a turkey at all that would be able to get through that. And backing out and looking at the kind of rest of the pattern there, it's really not bad whatsoever for a load of lead 4s. Again, we see a nice ball of kind of consistent shot here. Definitely a good core, but it does give you a little bit of leeway outside of that without looking like it's blown open or anything. Now we do see what might be a couple of flyers around over here on the right and down there on the bottom, but for lead shells, I'm not entirely surprised with that at all. But for a load of lead 4s, I'm definitely rather impressed. That's probably the best pattern that I have gotten out of a load of 4s, and if that's what I had, I would not be scared at all to use that out in the woods, that's for sure. But also, that new Truglo Gobble-Stopper choke seems to be a pretty decent setup as well, really, at least to start out with. So overall here, I can't really complain too much about that. I just wish it was a little bit more centered up, but for a core area like we see right here out of a load of lead 4s, definitely cannot complain at all about that. That would absolutely crush a turkey out to 40 yards all day long, no doubt about it. Okay, and here's the wad out of that shell, and as you can see, very typical longbeard wad. Looks pretty good here. No rips or tears or anything like that that I'd be concerned with. This one does still have a little bit of that buffer material stuff they use, that hardened wax-like material down in the bottom there, but there's no pellets or anything stuck down in there, and it's not really torn up or scuffed up or anything like that, so I don't think we were over-constricted or anything. It looks pretty good here overall. Absolutely nothing that I'd be worried about or concerned about, so I think the wad did exactly what it was supposed to out of this test. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that performance there? I definitely don't really have any complaints whatsoever with that pattern. I wish it was a little bit more centered up, but that just might be this combination or that choke that likes to shoot a little bit to the left. Really don't know. We'll have to do some more testing and see what it does. But as for our pattern there, for a load of lead fours, you can't really complain about that. Saw a couple of flyers, but nothing unusual, I wouldn't say whatsoever, but we did see a beautiful looking core there. A nice, pretty circular, pretty uniform pattern, and definitely one that's going to hammer a turkey out to 40 yards all day long for you if that's the setup you had. Absolutely. So I definitely say that we've got a pretty good combination here. There's no doubt about that. But as always, leave your thoughts about it in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see? Or were you a little bit surprised one way or the other? And if you use either that old GobbleStopper 679 or the Longbeard 4s, what kind of setups, shells, chokes, whatever are you running each one of them through? Or what might you want to see us test those two with? Leave all that down in the comments. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to film for you guys today, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.